Greetings. My name is Mark Liebig. I'm a research soil scientist with the USDA Agricultural Research Service in Mandan, North Dakota. And I'm going to provide the update for the United States for the upcoming Croplands Research Group meeting, January 19th of next year. Contributions from the United States are direct and aligned. Our direct contributions relate to serving as a research group co-chair going all the way back to 2010. We've had scientists involved in various networks, both through the existing structure that we have within the research group and also through activities outside of that structure, Magnet, for instance. Olivia Olson and Chuck Reisel have also been instrumental in setting up and providing a literature database aligned with mitigation activities on cropland there at Kansas State University. Aligned contributions, at least from the USDA side, tie into activities that are involved in both research and also engaging stakeholders and also providing resources through our various national agencies, that being the National Institute of Food and Agriculture, NIFA, of course, the Ag Research Service, the agency that I work for. There's the Natural Resources Conservation Service. There they have the climate hubs in particular that are distributed across the country that provide the critical information for landowners in dealing with climate-related stresses. And then, of course, the National Ag Library is just a vast collection of resources, data in particular for our purposes that can be very helpful for conducting research. Just some highlights from each of the agencies for this year. More broadly, just starting out, NIFA, they support climate change mitigation research through various programs and initiatives. And they are offering essentially resources mainly for universities to conduct research. And for 2021, there are two related projects to GRA interests that were funded. One focused on plant nutrient responses to increase CO2 levels in the atmosphere, and the other that's focused on sort of accelerating wheat development under anticipated climate conditions. Those two projects together were funded a little over $3.6 million. Within the Agricultural Research Service, I think the main thing that happened over the course of the year was a series of meetings that we held in a sort of a workshop format focused on achieving net zero greenhouse gas agroecosystems. And so through a series of 4 weeks, we listened to stakeholder input as to what their needs were. We had presentations on sort of the state of the science from scientists throughout the agency. And we also sort of looked back at the history of networks and how they have contributed to research related to mitigation of greenhouse gases from agroecosystems. And collectively, the whole idea is to take all this information and develop a research strategy that we can move forward with that will sort of build in activities that will facilitate both the development and adoption of greenhouse gas neutral agroecosystems. We anticipate that this research strategy will be shared sometime in 2022. Within the National Ag Library, they kind of point towards resources that are offered through AgCross, which stands for the Agricultural Collaborative Research Outcome System. It's essentially a network of networks. Within AgCross, there's data that's available that the researchers who are interested in conducting meta-analyses, or if they're doing modeling, they can be able to identify and utilize that data. Much of the data that pertains, I think, to the Croplands research group is perhaps research activities from the GraceNet ARS project, and so that's available through AgCosts. Within NRCS, I had mentioned earlier the role of the climate hubs, and they just do a fantastic job providing sort of region-specific information for stakeholders, so that they can make decisions to be able to appropriately adapt or respond to climate-related stressors. In October of this year, they released an action plan for climate adaptation resilience, and essentially outlined how USDA was going to provide, relevant information, tools, resources for landowners, so that they can have increased resilience and to climate impacts. Essentially, it's sort of improving sort of the climate preparedness as we go forward. So it's definitely something to watch. I'm sure there's going to be much more activity in that realm in the future. So we were asked to provide some ideas on mitigation co-benefits. And in thinking about this and some of the things that are going on, particularly within the sort of the renewable agricultural sphere within the United States, is this whole concept of soil health strategies, these 5 soil health strategies, which are widely recognized, even though they may be somewhat sort of diffusely defined, but they do resonate with producers. Having increased soil cover, continuous living root, increasing your plant diversity, minimizing soil disturbance, and integrating livestock. I think one question to think about. Here are some topics that resonate with producers. I think the question is, how do these strategies sort of relate to enhancing greenhouse gas mitigation and adaptive capacity? Research activities from this could take all kinds of different forms, but I think that soil health link is one that I think really could resonate with producers, because there's these strategies that are already set up that are very, very recognizable. From the standpoint of capability opportunities, this is a slide that I shared last year, but again, the NIFA has a couple of initiatives that individuals could apply for and receive resources, either through supporting conferences or getting involved in international programs. Within ARS, we've been fairly good supporters of the Cliff Brad's Fellows over the year, and unfortunately, with the pandemic-related, restrictions, we haven't been able to do that the last couple of years. But we hope to get back on board with that and have those students work with our scientists. I think it's definitely a win-win. We also have a postdoc program that brings on 40 or so postdocs every year, and some of those projects are related to greenhouse gas mitigation, and so those things might be able to link into Croplands Research Group, depending on how things are facilitated. We also have the Borlaug Fellowship Program. Those are opportunities targeted primarily to mid-career scientists, and then the National Academy of Scientists has their peer program partnerships for enhanced engagement in research, which is still active. And so just a few things on the capability side. So that's it for me. I appreciate your attention. Look forward to any questions or comments you might have when we all get together on the 19th of January. Very good. Take care.